Famous Prisoners of Saint-Lazare, Marguerite Steinheil. High-profile incarcerations of society women in Paris, especially for crimes like murder, highlighted the sensational reputation of Saint-Lazare prison. One such scandal at the dawn of the 20th century involved Marguerite Jeanne Steinheil, born 1869, died 1954. Steinheil was the wife of the artist Adolphe Steinheil, whom she married in 1890. Moving in the highest social circles in Paris, Marguerite became the mistress of the French president, Félix Faure, often visiting him for assignations at the Élysée Palace. On 16 February 1899, during one of their trysts, Faure died suddenly. The salacious circumstances of the president's untimely demise and the identity of his companion became widely known and commented upon in the tabloid press and elsewhere. On 31 May 1908, Steinheil's husband and her stepmother were found murdered in their Paris residence. The cause of death in both cases was strangulation. Elsewhere in the house, Marguerite was discovered bound and gagged, but otherwise unharmed. She told the police that a gang of 4 black-robed home invaders were responsible for what had happened. The police initially suspected her of having some role in the murders, but could find no hard evidence to back up their suspicions. In order to distract attention, however, the widow tried unsuccessfully to frame a male servant and tamper with evidence. These actions aroused police suspicions again, and on November 26th, Steinheil was arrested, charged with the murders, and sent to Saint-Lazare while awaiting trial. The mainstream and tabloid press covered all aspects of the murders: the investigation, the arrest, the imprisonment, and the trial of Steinheil. Conspiracy theorists wildly linked the Steinheil murders with Madame Steinheil's previous relationship with the president, charging that she had poisoned Faure. Former cellmates sold the story of the full confession she had supposedly made to them. At her trial in November 1909, Steinheil's lies and evidence tampering were all revealed. The presiding judge characterized the defendant's testimony as a tissue of lies. Yet, absent any direct evidence of a motive or a physical involvement with the murders, she was unexpectedly acquitted and released. In her 1912 memoir, Steinheil recalled in great detail her 353 days in prison. As she noted, "Saint-Lazare, how many times have I been asked since I left that prison to describe it, to describe the life I led there?" One motive for her detailed description of her year of agony at Saint-Lazare was to refute press accounts that she had received special treatment during her time at the prison. Steinheil noted, "It would be difficult to conceive a prison more hopelessly dilapidated and insanitary than Saint-Lazare. I can fancy some reader saying, pools of water in a cell, broken tiles, mice, cockroaches by the hundred. She exaggerates. She is describing a cell in some prison of another century. I am not exaggerating. Saint-Lazare doesn't belong to another century. It is so old and tumbled down that more than once, when looking into some dark room, I almost expected to see the heavy chains, the thumbscrews, the rack, the bilboes, and other instruments of a torture chamber." Taking into account Steinheil's motivation in her memoir to stress her innocence, the unfairness of her imprisonment and treatment, and her desire to tell a compelling and sellable story, her description of the harshness of daily prison life and the decrepit state of Saint-Lazare are consistent with other contemporary accounts.